Oh, it's going to be a big one, and I think the chat knows it. Welcome to the Outside Insider. This might be the most explosive episode. If there has ever been the need for a post-game therapy episode, this is it. I'm sorry it didn't come on Monday, but look, the best thing comes to those who wait. I'm hoping, just hoping, we get it today, because there's a lot we need to get off our collective chests, I'm sure. Now, I luckily enough missed the Eagles lost to San Francisco. I was out in London trying to be romantic and look at Christmas lights. I've now got a Christmas tree behind me. It does look a little bit on the skinny side. It does. I feel like trees should go out like a triangle. You know, they should start star and then they come out. That just stick thin. Nothing going on. But it looks nice. So there's that. What isn't nice is the Eagles. And whatever happened on Sunday, I think for me that the bigger concern is what's happened on Monday, is what's happened on Tuesday. It's the media overreactions. It's stuff like David Carr. Like, we're going to get to that in a little bit. We've got the Zach Ertz stuff, the Shaq Leonard stuff, but more importantly, just a full-on floppy, flaccid, disgraceful, disappointing, underwhelming. And that was just me at the weekend, boys. That was just me on Saturday night. No, I'm joking. An Eagles performance that I don't think anybody saw coming. I think there was so much preemptive emphasis put on this game being important because it was the Niners. They've been chirping all off season. What Debo said about Bradbury. The fact that the Eagles were, of course, the reigning NFC champions, having beaten San Francisco, and the way they did it without Brock Purdy for most of the game. So there was almost this, well, we've got to come out. We've got to attack Brock Purdy. Prove that it doesn't matter if they have Brock Purdy or prime Joe Montana, that this Niners team cannot get close to Philadelphia, and it will be a waltz to the NFC Championship. Minor quibble with that. Slight issue. What we didn't account for was the fact that the Eagles are what they are at this point, and they are a team that had been scraping by, just about doing enough to get the win. And not to say, I think we debated this last week, not to say they didn't deserve some of the wins that they've had, but certainly that they weren't as convincing as we'd like them to be. They weren't as exciting. They weren't as, wins that demanded confidence from the fan base. And as much as the win record would suggest confidence, so they were 10-1. They were the top dogs in the NFL. They had a 2-game lead in the NFC East, a division which, by the way, before we get into anything else, they're still really going to win. Even if they lose against Dallas next week, they faced the Giants twice. They faced the Cardinals once. I'm not exactly scared that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to somehow collapse that bad to lose the NFC East. However, right, Matty, don't start. Look, this is the first comment. Don't you start now, Sunshine. Don't you look. I know we're trying to run back some content. We're getting some LJ lore in this chat right now, but don't you start one. I'm going to be staring at that star out the corner of my eye now for the rest of this stream. Also, shout out to Teresa for saying David Carr's an idiot. Absolutely right. Completely agree. And we'll get onto that again a little bit later. And shout out to Jesse Evans as well, watching on Facebook. Thank you for the like to him. And to Sir Phil Stifle. I can see who's liked on Facebook. I can't see that on YouTube for some reason. But it is what it is. I will highlight some of your comments as we go on. I haven't ignored you, I promise. To Zach, to Isaac, Mark. Hello, how are you boys doing? Martian Lynch is here as well. But like Isaac said, okay, the Eagles haven't played a complete game all year. They've not won convincingly. There was maybe 2 games they won convincingly this season. The rest, they've just about done enough to cross the finish line. And that's fine. But I will liken it to Carson Wentz 2016 or 2017 Carson Wentz, okay? You start hitting on everything, every hand you ever have on blackjack, and you're going to win games, okay? You're going to make the right decisions. You make the sexy throws. Eventually, you start getting picked off. And those gambles don't pay off. And you end up without a team. And you end up being Carson Wentz after, an extra couple of years. The Eagles are the same in that, they've been relying so much on Sean Desai's magical ability to scheme the team back into second half games. They relied so much on the ability of Jalen Hurts to play the Eagles out of self-inflicted holes. The Eagles relied so much on guys like DeAndre Swift to have a generationally good start to the NFL season. They relied on A.J. Brown to break NFL records, Jalen Hurts to break NFL records. It was like, as bad as this team was, it was being patched up with the finest Band-Aids the world has ever seen. It didn't matter. And I wrote an article earlier today. Some of you may have read it. If not, don't worry, because I'm going to cite it now word for word. That if it's cold outside, the weather outside is frightful, and the fire is cold, and you go outside to work, and it's 6 a.m., you've got ice all over your car, it's freezing, the car won't start properly, you've got to get all the ice off the window. It takes time. It doesn't matter if you've got a Nissan, as you guys would call it. It doesn't matter if you've got a Lamborghini, a Porsche, a Range Rover, or just a Chrysler from 1982. The damage is the same, and you've still got to take those actions. It doesn't matter what model car you've got, it will not start when it is freezing cold first time. Some might, sure, but others, it takes some doing. The Eagles have got a Bugatti level team. Do you ever see that meme? With the Bugatti Veyron in like the camper van, like the little recce garage outside of it. I can't remember what the initial meme of it was, but it was a Bugatti Veyron looking at you, and it's in like this tin pot level backdrop. That's kind of like this Eagles team. The Eagles team is the Veyron. Like the roster itself, you can't question it really outside of a couple of spots. But you get a team like San Francisco, who may not be as flashy as a Bugatti, but they are a 4x4. They're consistent. They're well-rounded. They'll be good on all terrains. Come rain, sleet, snow, that 4x4 will be effective, okay? The Eagles, brilliant-looking car, just some bits missing, okay? You couldn't take a Bugatti Veyron down to your work without it getting robbed, realistically. That's a downside. It's sort of where this Eagles team is. They've got the team. They've got the roster. But we are now at a point where a loss like that has to wake them up, because winning cures everything. We know that, right? Winning cures everything. You could be the biggest bozo in the world. You could be the biggest dickhead the world's ever seen. If you're succeeding and the people around you are succeeding, no one's going to care. If you're Terrell Owens, no one's going to care. If you're Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffrey, that whole spat going on, no one cares, because if you're winning. As soon as you stop winning and the glitter comes off and the lights come on at the end of the night and you realise you stood opposite someone you really don't want to be stood opposite, you realise this is a bit of a mess and we've got to sort things out, okay? That's where this Eagles team is. They've got to take accountability. They've been preaching accountability all year. And this is where I think, not that it hurts him, but I think it does. I think it hurts Jalen Hurts to a point where his press conferences are very analogy-based. He'll say some random comment like, well, if the fire chopper's going to chop wood, you better count the trees. And we're like, don't know what that means. I don't know what that man has just said, but he wins. He's good at football. He's good looking. He can steal my girlfriend. He inspires confidence. He's a natural leader. I'm all in. And then the same cycle repeats and repeats and repeats. And I don't think it's Jalen specifically, but I think the aura of the team goes through him, So what he says encompasses everyone. He speaks for the team. And I think he understands that, which is why he's so good at presses. However, you're now at a point where being accountable, in my opinion, is taking ownership. Well, I say my opinion like it's not the dictionary definition here, ladies and gentlemen, but it's taking ownership of your mistakes or your cock-ups, whatever you want to call it, and going, do you know what? That wasn't great, but we're going to work on them. We're going to make them better, okay? We're going to sift through this. We've got the potential to do it. I'll own up. I've had a boo-boo there, okay? That was my bad. Let's move forward. Nick Sirianni has not touched Brian Johnson in any way, okay, since week one. The play calling has remained untouched. It has been the same bollocks week in, week out. I can't tell you a game it's changed. I cannot tell you a game this season that offense has looked any different. The only thing that's changed are the defenses they've played. And some are worse than others, and some are susceptible to other things. Some are going to allow DeAndre Swift those bigger runs. Other teams, like the Niners, hold him to 6 carries and injury in about 3 yards. Some teams aren't just built to handle a guy like A.J. Brown. Others make him a non-factor. The good teams can pivot. The bad teams can't. And I don't think the Eagles are a bad team. They're 10-2 at the end of the day. But you've got an offensive coordinator that there's just no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no identity. Can you tell me, anyone, let's play classrooms once again, can anyone tell me, out of 13 people watching, what the identity of this Eagles team is? Offensively. 2022 you can. It's a run-first, option-based offense that is built on the foundation that Jalen Hurts is a dual-threat quarterback. It's single-read option slants. It's running backs on zonal attacks. and it's a lot of yards after the catch. 2021, you can see there's a blend. It's cooking. They're beginning to play on Jalen's athleticism. They're beginning to work in some of these things. The receivers aren't quite there. They're getting there. They've got a couple nice pieces. 2020, you can go back time after year after year after year and sum up roughly what the Eagles were trying to do. Whether they're successful or not is anyone's guess, okay? But you can go back to 2017 and you can vividly remember what the aim of the game was. You can look at Zach Ertz's receptions, his record-breaking seasons. I don't think, and Duck and Jesse have both turned it on. Right, you've all got to behave yourselves, all right? Stop it. The flat's not haunted. The office is haunted. With the tree's not moving quickly. If that star falls down, I don't know. There are going to be some serious conversations in this chat. This is the equivalent of being doxxed, I think. Gunslinger mentality. I accidentally clicked that, by the way. Gunslinger mentality is the only thing I can think of. But problem is, Jalen is a play it safe QB. So that might even be you might be onto something there. But it does feel like it is, again, and we said this a couple of weeks ago, that every play is it's 4 verticals on Madden. It's 4 verticals or it's a run. It's like 4 verts, 4 verts, 4 verts, QB draw. 4 verts, 4 verts, slant, 4 verts, outside read, inside run. It's the Madden playbook. There is no creativity. You've got a guy that is game-breaking in A.J. Brown. You've got a guy like Devontae Smith, in my opinion, second or third best route runner in the NFL. You've got a back like DeAndre Swift, who can be among the best in the NFL. You've got a quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who is among the best in the NFL. There is no excuse, other than the fact the Niners are a defense that is disciplined, that plays well, that plays hard. And I will say, before we get back onto point, that they were dirty. Okay, the Niners were dirty. They played to hurt. That wasn't football. That was borderline wrestling. Look, I've gone back and watched a lot of old ECW shows. I've seen ones that were far less violent than whatever the Niners were doing on Sunday, and it's disgusting. I think some of it, like, there's no place that in a league that's trying to iron those hits out the game. There's no need for them, really. So I will say that. But it's a defense that is going to pick up on your weakness. They smother the run. They're the only team, really, in my opinion, that are built to stop the Philly special, or the brotherly shove. My mistake. And Brett Coleman did a great breakdown on it, far better than I could these days. I'm a grizzled veteran of the film breakdowns. But I just feel like there is no offensive identity anymore in this team. Can you genuinely tell me what the Eagles are trying to do on offense? Other than the basic, get the first down, get the touchdown, score a field goal. Like, there's nothing. How are they trying to move the ball? Is it a West Coast scheme? Is it an East Coast scheme? Is it zone heavy? Is it an air raid attack? I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what's going on. I know more about my last situationship than I know about this Eagles offense. And I still don't know how that ended or even started for that or why it existed. So there is just no cohesiveness, no rhyme, reason, pattern, tendency. It is just vertical, run it for a bit, abandon that. Vertical, run it for a bit, abandon, and just endless. And if you're going to preach accountability, be accountable. Get Brian Johnson away from play calling. Sean Desai, look, I will say there is more emphasis on Howie Roseman's team building than Sean Desai's defense right now, because all teams are doing is targeting a weak safety group and a weak linebacker group, which unfortunately for the Eagles, one's there, and a defense that is a big rectangle. Okay, if we imagine, I don't think I can annotate the screen, unfortunately, which is very frustrating. I don't know what I've done there, my mistake. Can I add a pen? No. Okay. But you know what I mean? You know how safeties and linebackers play. You're not 3 years old, okay? We're all good. So safeties and linebackers, unfortunately for the Eagles, that's the entire middle of the field. That's the middle of the field. Yep, that's the entire fucking thing. That's all of it. It's all gone, right? The corners don't matter. The corners do not matter. It sucks they're being bullied as well, but they don't matter, all right? The defensive line, it doesn't matter how good your defensive line. It can't get much better than the Eagles, if we're being honest. You can't get a defensive line as good, as deep as this Eagles one. You will struggle. Maybe the Niners, maybe one or two other teams, but there aren't many that can contend with the depth and the variety of different players you've got on that defensive line. It doesn't matter who you've got. Whether you've got me or whether you've got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, No one's going to get home if it is that easy to put a ball 3 yards in front and let them run 50 yards upfield because your safeties can't tackle, your linebackers can't cover. It doesn't matter. They could put Martian. You can have a defensive line of Duck, Win Sports, Greg Moody, and Isaac. Right? It's sorry to single you out. It's the 4 names I've read off. I'm not particularly highlighting your lack or athleticism, but you can have 4 people in this chat. It doesn't matter how good, how quick, how explosive you are, how creatively schemed up that pass rush is, if you're just going to get bamboozled over the middle every single time. If your corners then can't cover, good luck. You've got one position group that is responsible for, realistically, 30% of a play. Okay? You're responsible for pressure, affecting the quarterback's read, stuffing the run. The rest of it, no chance. Absolutely no chance. So you've got a defense that is lacking players and talent, and the blueprint to beat Philadelphia now is out there. Okay? The world has seen what the Niners have done, although it's hardly revolutionary, let's be honest. It's easy to beat the Eagles' defense, easy to score against them. It always was, if we're being honest. It just so happened that the borderline okay talent looked a bit better. They go up against elite talent, they look borderline okay. The worrying thing defensively for me now is that they're going to go into a situation where they play the Giants twice and the Cardinals. They're going to end the season 3-0, and they'll be high on confidence, and it'll be, we're the best team in the league, we're the dogs, whatever, and it will get to the playoffs, and you better hope that those bang average players play well. You would better hope with every ounce in your body that those bang average players are up to snuff, and that it's not just that they're playing literal Wawa employees. And you can make the argument that, well, they've done it okay this season, they've done good. Sure, but they've also battled injuries. And, some of those players are now no longer playing. They're without Avonte Maddox, for instance. Nakobe Dean, not that he was particularly great, but no longer there. Darius Slay's been a bit weird this season. James Bradbury's certainly been a bit weird this season. Reed Blankenship hasn't had a running mate that's stable. Kevin Byard is either prime Tyrann Mathieu or prime Marcus Epps. There is no in between there. The linebackers need no introduction. It doesn't matter. It sucks, but there has been a clear neglect for reasons how he's never really explained. We just have to assume. And as we established the other week, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. But it is what it is. Okay? The team is what it is. But for me, there is far more that can be improved on offense and defense. The defense, to me, is what it is. Okay? It is a great defensive line, a weak linebacker core, and a secondary that's being banged. Just being absolutely banged. It's being beaten on. All right? There's no need for it. The offense, you've got 2 of the best receivers in the league, the best offensive line in the league, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, a top 10 tight end in the league, and a backfield that ranks 8th in rushing. There is no way that team should be doing as bad as it is. There's no way. And they have to use that game as a wake-up call. They absolutely have to address it. If they go out next week against this weekend against the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World and pull half the bollocks they did against the San Francisco 49ers, just pack it up and go home. Just give them the win, beat the Giants twice, secure the division. No point even playing. Hell, start Mariota. Agree with David Carr for 10 minutes. Just start Marcus Mariota for a bit. Because you will not beat the Cowboys with that, okay? The thing with this Eagles team is that good teams find a way to win. Good teams find a way to win. That's been the same thought process. It has been the same defense for bad play all year. That, they find a way to win, though. Yeah, they're bad, but they find a way to win. And I've been guilty of it. We've all been guilty of it because they have. And they're 10 wins. You can't be a bad 10-1 team. But you can certainly not be an excellent one. I've seen better 7-win teams. I've seen better 8-win teams that play more consistently. You know where they are, what they're doing. You know what the identity is. I don't think the Eagles have an identity. And I don't know if it's Brian Johnson. I don't know if it's Nick Sirianni. Maybe it comes from the very top with Howie Roseman. I don't know. But offensively, there is no passion. There's no identity. There is no formula, no rhythm, no rhyme. It is just a mess from a play calling perspective. The players look like half the time they don't know what they're doing. The receivers are just begging to run 1 5-yard route every 10 minutes. Jalen Hurts is begging to get the ball out once without being put on his ass. The offensive line are begging just one time to play average, although Lane Johnson played pretty well Sunday. The rest were all right. It's just been poor. It has just been historically poor for a team to be that good statistically, to be 10-1, and then but played like it the whole time. But to play that average, look, you can get bought into the culture, you can get bought into the hype, you can get bought into what this team could be. This team should be the best team in football. It's not, because they're not making coordinator changes. They're not making play calling changes. And they're the same mistakes are beginning to be punished a little bit more each week until eventually it is a gigantic slap across the face and they're acting like they've never seen a slap before. Like, I can't believe that just happened. I don't know what happened out there. I didn't see that coming a mile away. Well, maybe it was the fact you were begging for it for 6 weeks. Maybe that's something to do with it. That it was a long time coming, that wake-up call. And I'm much happier that it's happened now than it happened in the playoffs. We will get to some David Carr chatter in a minute because, we've got to get to that. I will read some of your comments. It's nice seeing some new names in and some old faces in the chat. I don't think we've actually highlighted many comments today, so let's go through them. Jesse says that tree's moving faster than Hurts getting rid of the ball. I hope he doesn't mean my tree's haunted. I'm still convinced it's not, but, some people are. Screw it, AJ down there somewhere. I'm pretty sure that's been the staple of the offense. A couple of people have said that in the chat now. Marshall Lynch, technically only the NFL can stop the tush push. Yeah and no, but does it really matter if you get down there and, if you can't score from 5 yards? I don't want to get to a point where they have to score from 1 yard because they can't find the end zone. That's also a worry. Can they, potentially score from 3 yards out? Is that possible? Can we get to that? Do we have to rely on the brotherly shove? It's fine. I don't mind it if they score. But if you're 4 yards out and you can't drop a play, it's because Brian Johnson cannot scheme something that is 4 yards. If he's first and goal from the opposing 6-yard line, he'll be sat there going, PA crosses. And Nick Sirianni's going, no, BJ, we only need 4 yards. Have a slant, have a dig, do something. Double China 7, do something. He's like, no. Watch this. PA crosses. Nothing. They run it, get 2 yards, brotherly shove their way in. Look, they needed some Red Bulls at halftime and they didn't drink them. It was just sloppy. It was really sloppy. It was lackadaisical. There wasn't much in the way of reasons to be optimistic. It felt like, look, early on, they went what? They went 6-0 up, didn't they? Okay, early on, fair enough. It looked, okay, a couple of positive drives, which is what we said. Okay, I said on Friday's stream, if they want to win this game, they've got to be up by about 14 to 17 points at the end of 2 drives. 6 wasn't going to cut it. It was never going to cut it, but it's points and it was safe. And I was like, okay, fair enough then. Let's see where it goes from here. I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't see where it went from there because it was the biggest disappointment I've had in my life. Probably since I was trying to think of a really big, horrible disappointment that I've had. I think I've got many recently, if I'm honest. It's been all right. But, just, I don't know. There is if I'm honest, which is quite nice. It's quite a wholesome thing. I didn't mean to go in that direction. But biggest disappointment since The Matrix 4. There you go. That was horrendous. I'm a big Matrix fan. I've got them all on Blu-ray. I love them. It's one of my favorite films growing up. The 4th one, it's a reboot. I understand it. I'm okay with it. But NFL Reality Check says, can I ask an honest question? Yes, you can. That was your question. See you later. No, I'm joking. Oh, I've missed it. I totally understand everyone's worries. I do, but we are not 10. Are we not 10-2? We had a crazy 3-game span and only dropped 1. Yeah. No, for sure. I don't think it's the fact they lost the game. If they lost the game, even 42-27, I don't think people would be up in arms. It's the fact that it was never really close after the second quarter. It was never really, even going into the end of the first half, it was never, as soon as San Fran scored, it was kind of over. And it was very obvious they weren't going to be able to stop them, barring a Sean Desai miracle. And the thing about miracles is that they're miracles because they're unexpected and they don't happen very often. Okay, it's like a birthday wish. You get one a year. It doesn't become a miracle if it happens every game. It just becomes the norm, and an adjustment of that grand change isn't the norm. So, barring a miracle, it was always going to be tough, and I think that's what people are pissed off at. Like, if they lost 42-38, no one would care. It'd be, do you know what? They've beat the Niners. They've beat the Chiefs, the Bills, they beat the Dolphins, they beat the Cowboys, obviously. They play the Cowboys this week. There'd be a lot more just calmness around it. But seeing them just get the character beaten out of them, I think, is just demoralizing. Like, no 10-win team should get humble pied like that at home. Like, I think that's the difference. Is that, like, it's not the fact they lost, it's the way they lost. And the fact that there was no identity visibly offensively. The defense had nothing going for it. And it felt almost pointless to try and change anything. It looked lifeless. This is a team of elite players going out there, playing like, I don't know, like the prime Chicago Bears this season. Like, it's just ridiculous. First and 10 incomplete pass, second and 10 run play for a 2-yard gain, third and 8 force the ball down the field, only for Jalen to be ran down. He throws out of bounds. Yeah, pretty much. You've nailed that one. We just had 7 wins in a row. I get we didn't look that great, but good team has bad games. True, like they do. Every good team does have bad games. I could care less about. Right, we will get this. I will get this. Look, this has been an ongoing debate. Okay, for many years between the English and the American. And as we established recently, I am the first person to understand when the English people have not been very good, when we leave things on the table. All right, look, calling it a sidewalk when you walk on the side of the road, fair enough. I don't know what a pavement is, but I'd call it a sidewalk. Okay, makes sense to me. Saying I could care less about one loss means to me that you care somewhat to a point that you could actually care less about it. You couldn't care less means that you physically cannot care less. You could care less says, I care a bit about this. If I wanted to, I could care less. I could care less about it. And I needed to bring that up. And I'm sorry to single you out there, Reality Check. You're a lovely man. I love you to bits. But we had to have that conversation just for the sassiness in the chat. But that had to be done. Howie Roadman, at your service. At your service. How you would. I love how I lost viewers doing that as well. Love it. A quick shout to Brenda Sauder and Patrick Bernard. I hope I said that right, for liking the stream on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, I can actually see your likes. I can't do it on YouTube, but let me know if you do, and that'd be great. HC, nice to see you, man. Shaq Leonard will single-handedly win us the Super Bowl. Oh, look, if he single-handedly intercepts a pass, I'll be happy at this point. I'm not really sold on Shaq Leonard. He'll be okay. He should kick in just in time for the playoffs, but I'm not convinced he's going to be a grand difference maker. 2 years ago, absolutely. But when you go through surgeries like that and play the lack of football that he has and get cut for it, I said it on Friday, Indianapolis are a team on the fringe of playoffs. Darius Shaq Leonard is one of their best players, been a cornerstone of that franchise since he arrived. He has been, non-stop, a 3-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, I believe. You do not get rid of a player like that if he's going to be an asset to your team. If you're a team on the fringe of the playoffs and you've got an elite talent, you don't get rid of him. And especially if the fact that his contract, they could have saved the same money this upcoming offseason. It wouldn't have made a difference. The trade deadline had gone. It matters not whether they shed that cap now or in 3 months' time. So if he was going to be an asset, they would have kept him around. Maybe they afforded him an opportunity, wanted to do right by him and say, look, fair enough. Go find yourself a team. Go get yourself a starting role because you ain't having one here, buddy. And we love you, so go find it. Maybe they did that, in which case, fair enough. But I'm not filled with confidence. So are we not the best? So we're not the best because we lost to the 49ers. I guess KC is jumping off a bridge today then. Look, all good teams this year have had stinkers, okay? All good teams have had stinkers. I understand. The Chiefs have lost a fair few. The Ravens have even lost a fair few. The Dolphins have dropped the occasional one. Like, every good team this year has dropped bad games. I don't think one has had a humiliating one. That's my point. Spider 2Y Banana. That's a man of culture right there. That is a man of culture. I love to see it. I promise oh my God, there's so much. I've done it again with the comments, haven't I? I am getting there. PA crosses. See, we're catching up. Liam, the worst part is I've seen flashes of brilliance and creativity in spurts, but where, why, how, and who's it coming from? Whoever it is needs to do it full time. That sums it up. That's the Eagles team. That's it. And the perfect analogy, genuinely, right, is playing golf at a very basic amateur level with a handicap, all right? I play off 22. I shot an 87 earlier this year when I think I was playing off 28. I shot an 87, best round of my life. For one round, I played like prime Jordan Spieth, okay? Do I know how it happened? Could I recreate it the next game? Fuck no, I couldn't. Do I have a clue what's going on? Could I channel that energy again? No, but it's in the locker somewhere. And that's this Eagles team. On a week-by-week basis, it's like you might have one good shot. And I was playing in a competition a few months back, and someone said to me, like, there was a guy that had been like a 32 handicap for 4 years and it not come down. And he was like, most of us who play golf as a hobby have flashes. You might have a hole in one, you might make a long distance putt, you might chip in, and those flashes show what can be, If you stay the same for 4 years and nothing changes, why bother? So there are flashes, but I don't know where they're coming from. You're right. I haven't got a clue. Is it Brian Johnson? Is Brian Johnson secretly an offensive genius who just needs to get out of his own way? I don't know. The flat is still haunted, so that is absolutely brilliant. I do literally keep looking at it, though. I keep trying to look at everything to make sure you're not winding me up. Cheeky little devils you are. The only reason that we got run so badly is because that DL was gassed from 3 games in 13 days. That is a good point. And look, I will say this. If they do go out and beat the Cowboys in Jerry World, it does somewhat negate that loss. It kind of nullifies it because then it's back to a 2-game lead in the NFC East and you swept the Cowboys, you win the tiebreaker, meaning, moi, s'il vous plaît, meaning the only way that the Cowboys can win is by, winning outright, which means they would have to win out and the Eagles would lose out. So realistically, a win against the Cowboys on the road, which I don't think they've done. I might be wrong. Someone has to double check, but I might be wrong since like literally 2015 or something. It was something stupid, but they just don't win on the road in Dallas. So it would nullify it. And if with a week's rest, they can go on the road and they can beat Dallas at home, arguably the hottest team in the NFC. I don't care about the Niners realistically. Like Dallas have been the hotter side and they've got the better quarterback. I don't really mind that much. I'm willing to let it slide, because it is that bounce back and they show that they can improve. They can get back to their best. And that's what's frustrating. This isn't a bad team that shithoused its way to 10 wins and then, oh, whoopsie. Like, this is a good team. This is a great team that is just playing like a good team and then has been humbled because of it. And we know they're better than that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with holding them to a standard of greatness when you've got a $255 million quarterback, you've got the best receivers in the NFL, 2 of the top 10, you've got the best offensive line in football, one of the best defensive lines in football, one of the best defensive coordinators in football, and a coach who should have won Coach of the Year last year. There is no, justification for holding them to a standard of greatness. I don't think any of us can be insulted for holding the Eagles to a standard of this should be a 10-win football team. We shouldn't be joyous and buzzing and greasing up light poles because they've got 10 wins. This isn't some jubilous occasion where, oh my God, they've defied all the odds. This is a great team that should be playing great, which means they're playing average. And when they're playing average, they're playing piss poor. That's the difference. That is the difference. And I wasn't meant to be shouting at Duck there, by the way. I'm sorry your comment was highlighted. What's up, Pat? Nice to see you, man. How are you doing? Stoutland for OC, I'd be all in. I'm not sure if he'd take it, though. I think he likes the offensive line too much. And I think, some to be an offensive coordinator, you've got to be well-rounded. And not to say that Stout isn't, but he's certainly a specialist in offensive line. I wouldn't want to take that out and then have the offensive line development stunt and then have the offensive... Do you see what I'm saying? Like, he's clearly one of the best offensive line coaches of all time. Just let him do his thing. As much as I would love it. If they played hard and gave it their all and lose, I can accept it. But after 2 drives I give it, I can't accept it. Bang. Exactly. And that, Teresa Constantini, is a constant. Okay, and that's exactly what I was alluding to a minute ago. That this Eagles team is better, and to put in a soulless performance like that just isn't on. I'm glad we've got a win there for the could care less comment. I'm so far behind on comments. I'll try and skim through them now. We as a country have gotten that quote wrong. We all know that is what it is. We couldn't care less. We tend to speak facts, and this happens. And we're wearing a Supreme hoodie. I am. My younger brother got it for me a couple of Christmases ago. Like, we were both like super into streetwear. He probably more so than me. Like, I don't know. I used to like a bit of Supreme. Like, I've got a few box logo bits. But yeah, he got me this 2 Christmases ago. I was a very spoilt young man. Yeah, so there we go. I'm not quite. I can't style it with anything though. Like, I don't dress like a hype beast or anyone like that. I just, I'm literally wearing it with jogging bottoms and slippers that say Cozy Crew on them. They say Cozy Crew. So there is that. Shat Lannon's signing is awful. Now we have 2 players named Darius who don't want to be called Darius. Oh, that tickled me. That was brilliant. Sorry, look, that is. Ooh, okay. That's comment of the day. It shouldn't have made me laugh that much, but look, if I can I star that? That is absolutely brilliant. Marshall Lynch, take a bow, son. That is comment of the day. Oh, brilliant. I would like and share on Facebook, but we'd like to get my grandma watching each week. No, I'm joking. I'm winding you up. Leonard is better than Morrow, and that's all that matters. On paper, yeah. But then again, on paper, at age 28, I should be able to cook more than like a grilled cheese. I can't. So there is that. We're going to fly through. Guys, play me in Wii Golf, Leah. You're on. All right, fair enough. I'm awful at Wii Golf. I'm really bad, but you're on. If in a service, I wish we could have like a Wii Golf tournament of all the PSN staff. It'd be the best thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Just every PSN member playing Wii Golf. I can't ask for much more. Haven't won in Dallas since 2017. See, what I did there was link it to the Sam Bradford overtime win in 2015 because I'm slightly obsessed with it. I don't really know why, but 2017 it is. So there you go. 2011, the last time we swept them. Wow. Stout is also the RB coach. Phil reads. Oh, right, hang on. Phil reads comments faster than the Mandem Liam. LG can make the effort. How about that, Martian? Does that make you feel better? I like everyone to feel calm. It's a therapy session. It's post-game. We're relaxed. Zen. And Lord knows we need it. Did I know Leonard is 28? I didn't, actually. Well, I should. I mean, I wrote the article saying he'd signed. Here's a true story. It's irrelevant and not even remotely interesting, but it's very much on brand, isn't it, for this show? We had 2 articles pre-written on PSN. One for if Leonard had signed, one for if Leonard had chose the Cowboys. Same article, duplicated, just changed a few of the words around, rewrote some of it. So we were prepared for both outcomes, okay? Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. We were very much prepared, and we were the first website to have that article out. You're welcome, ladies and gentle birds. You're welcome. We're going to have a quick drink of... I've got Fanta Lemon. I don't know if you guys have Fanta in the States. The microphone's down here now. But it is my favourite drink. I had it when I went to Spain. It hits different. We're at the interval. We're at the interval for this show. So get a drink, get some crisps, chips as you call them, get some chocolates and burgers. I went to Madrid last year, and I swear to God, if you can get this anywhere in America, I'm not sure if you can, but in the hot weather, there is nothing better. It's like lemonade, but like on crack. It's so good. And when it's like ice cold, there is nothing hits other than a cider. But for now, Fanta will do because we're in the middle of winter. Oh, well, okay, all right. We've got a very passionate duck. Fanta in the States sucks donkey. Fanta in Europe tastes so much better. I didn't know that, but I will know now not to get cajoled into a false sense of security. and get some Fanta Lemon when I'm out in the States. So I appreciate that. Soda has too much sugar. Not enough for me. I'm not sweet enough. All right, I'm a sour young man. I need a lot of sugar. But this winds people up. Like, you know, my girlfriend is very open about this. The fact that I put sugar in everything. Like, I'll have cinnamon flavored cereal and put sugar on it, and then have a cup of coffee with 2 sugars. A cup of tea for me is 2 sugars. Like, yeah, I'm a sugary kind of guy. I don't know what you can say. Do I have heart palpitations? Sure. Is there an irregular heartbeat that I should get checked out? Probably, but that could also just be the stress of being an Eagles fan and covering the team. So I don't really know. It's because we use high fructose corn syrup and fake. I didn't know that. Lemonade in England is carbonated lemonade. Wow, I'm learning so much. What? But I thought, like, I'm not even being like sarcastic, but I genuinely thought America, and I guess the stereotype American sugar, you know, there's a lot of it they use. I figured that there'd be everything would be better over there for sweet stuff. But wow, I'm genuinely surprised. I don't know what to say. I'm quite shocked at that. One of my colleagues at work put 3 sugars in a hot chocolate. Depends on the hot chocolate. Was it like a vending machine one, or have they made it and put the 3 in? Because I think that the vending machine ones, if you get one like out of there, you've got to put the extra sugar in. But if you're making it and you can add the right amount of milk, then yeah, I think that might be. I think I draw the line at 2. Although I will say that no one likes my coffee, because I make Liam coffees, which are 2 teaspoons of sugar. No, sorry, 2 teaspoons of coffee, 3 teaspoons of sugar, a whole lot of milk, and a lot of heart attack. It is fantastic, and it gets me through the day. The hot chocolate was from Greg's. Coffee from Greg's is like acid. I love it. My girlfriend, we went to breakfast today. Okay, it's like the last day of our little like vacation-y thing. Went to a little cafe, got some breakfast, and my girlfriend said, like, "What is your favorite breakfast?" Like, just flat out, and I said, "Greg's." That's really sad. Like, of all the fry-ups in the world, a full English, like pancakes, waffles, all the lovely things, I've just gone for like a £2 bacon roll and a coffee that I hate, because cost to taste ratio is unmatched. Like £3 for a bacon. Right. I actually looked as well. You are right. That is warning number 1. Look, you have got the comment of the evening. You've got a comment of the evening with the Shaq Leonard signing. Don't ruin it. Come on. You're better than that. Let's not fool Liam with his PS5, please. He has had my pants down there. That is he is on a hot roll today. Do I rate Nando's? I do, but I'm not a hot, spicy guy. Contrary to popular belief, I'm just not. I'm what's it? It's not mid. It's like, I can do peri peri. The one before, mild. That's it. I'll have a mild chicken. Anything remotely like jalapenos in, or like anything that's spicy, it's not for me. Yeah, back in this, I'm sugar. I bet you do. I bet you do. No, I'm joking. That I would never assume that of you. You're a lovely, wholesome boy, Zach. Apple cider in the States is not carbonated. What is going on in America? I'm stunned. I'm amazed there's not been a mutiny over this stuff. Wow. Carbonated cider sounds, it is phenomenal. It is great. Unless you're at a bar, so you can't get alcoholic ciders? Huh? I don't get what's going on. I'm so confused. Careful, him. Sammy Sleeves. I hope he does. Oh no! Don't do that, Sam Radford. Oh no! Don't do that. Why is everything carbonated over there? Because it's better. It tastes better. I couldn't imagine a non-carbonated cider. That's just like juice. So it's non-carbonated and there's no alcohol in it. Why do you drink it? You've got a cider that is non-carbonated, no alcohol. That's just fruit juice. You can get that anywhere. Why are you? I don't understand. It's not in my head. All right, I'll tell you what else is hurt in my head on that note. I'm amazed 11 people are still watching this. I can't lie, because we have gone very, very swiftly off track. But another thing that confuses me is David Carr. Now, I'm sure. What have I walked into? Look, I wish we knew K1. I wish we knew. All we need to know tonight is that Marshall Lynch is on an absolute heater. He is putting up a Hall of Fame level performance. You know, it can't be matched. It has to be said. I've had cider since I was a kid. Yeah, but if you told me that, I'd assume you're an alcoholic. I how I don't get. I'm confused. It hurts. It hurt. Right, you can't have cider without alcohol and it's non. What's in it? It's just apple juice. That's just apple juice. You're having apple juice, lad. It's just apple juice. It's juice of apple. Oh, I'm gonna headbutt a table in a minute. Okay. We have apple juice and then cider. They have regular cider, basically apple juice, and hard cider. Hard cider. Why would you want? I don't actually know what's stressing me out more: the David Carr thing or the lack of alcoholic ciders in it. So you don't have Copperberg, Recorder League, like Old Moot, all these great ciders like Thatcher's. I was in a cider advert once. Did you know that? Let me find a picture. Hold on. Here's some content for the early beavers in this stream. You will absolutely love it. I can guarantee you that. So back in the day when I used to do motorsport broadcasting, I used to get like lifts to the race circuits with a camera crew. And I come from miles away. They live closer to London. So I'd go to theirs, join them for a trip up. We'd share a hotel. And then it just made life easier, like, because they were going anyway. And they were like, we can pick you up this week if you help us with a promotion. Like, we're shooting for a cider company. So I was like, brilliant. Okay, what have I got to do? So a lot of it was just like carrying equipment around, like poles, cameras, and that sort of thing. And then towards the end of it, they were like, can you go into this crowd of people and hold a can in the air? So I'm doing that. And they zoom in on the can, and it's like a rave. It was literally went to a rave for free, and they're like, there's all this raving going on, and they're like seeing all the lights, and it was pretty cool. But I'm trying to see if I've got the picture that they actually used in an advertising campaign. I hope I haven't deleted it. It was pretty cool. It's going to fall drastically short of expectation now, but I do want to get it if I can. And I think I might have deleted it. That is very annoying. I was a weird teenager. Bloody hell. Yeah, okay, that's annoying. I'll try and dig it out for next stream, because right now I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, it might be gone. I thought I had it on my Instagram. Maybe it's on my Facebook. Oh well, I'll have a look. Anyway, it was pretty cool. It was something fun to be a part of. We have Red's Apple Ale and Mike's Hard Cider. I bet Mark's Hard Cider. Go on, Mike. Shag it. Go on, Mike. No, you won't say that. He's confused as Derek Carr is when he's not being sacked. Look, okay. Let's get on to it. I was going to ask why, then reconsider. Carry on. It's on brand. Liam rated the high tower and Quez Dropkins draft. Go on then. We'll do that quickly. All right. Eagles. What was it? 2021 draft? Was that the Dillard draft? Wasn't it? I think. Can I spell properly? I've got it here. I think. No, it wasn't. It was 2020. Oh, great. Okay. So if I do this, sorry, I know you can't see the screen at the minute. This isn't the content we want. Ah, yes. Here it is. Bear with me. That one. Right. Jalen Ray. Oh, God. Thank the Lord for Jalen Hurts. Wow. Okay, right. So Jalen Rager. Oh, God. Jalen Hurts, A-, A+. I was at A-, A+. You can't get much better. A star. All right. A is what we give Jalen Hurts. Davion Taylor didn't do anything. So D for didn't do anything. Kayvon Wallace. W for where the fuck did he go? Excuse my French. Sorry. Jack Driscoll. A for average. John Hightower. Broke my heart, man. I thought he was going to be so special. F. That hurt. That felt like a gut punch, man. That was horrible. Sean Bradley, C. He was a good special teamer. He was a good player, and he was a friend of PSN. He loved us. He did like 3 videos with us. Did a couple interviews. Lovely boy. All the best. Local lad. Quez Watkins, C, because he's still around. Prince. Casey Toohill. I mean, both get the same grade of just absolutely useless, I think. I think that's the only way to go about it, isn't it? Let's have hit your share screen 3000. Boss man, you rate the movie Love Actually still? I do. It's my favorite Christmas film. It is my favorite Christmas film. I love it so much. I don't know why. Is it Keira Knightley? No, I'll tell you who does it for me. Don't let the girlfriend hear this. The one, you know, Snape, the actor that played, what is he called? Rick Blackman? Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman, that's his name. The girl that is a bit naughty, isn't she? She gets him to cheat on his wife, which is very bad. Wouldn't condone it, but she is a bit, you know. Or the Prime Minister lady, the Prime Minister girl, that one. She's unbelievable. But we're veering off conversation, and I might get in big trouble if I speak anymore if my girlfriend is somehow listening. I don't think she is. She might have gone to bed, but. Yeah, that Prime Minister, I don't know what she's called. The Prime Minister girl lives in my head rent-free. If you've not seen Love Actually, you are missing out on a classic. Apple cider is a little stronger than apple juice. It isn't filtered. Okay, so there is a difference. Okay, that makes me feel somewhat more accepting of its existence. We'll go that way. Show the line to be Saints game. I'd rather not. While this draft is awful, thank High for Jalen Hurts still. True. Love Actually is classic still. What the F? Hang on, MG, the Eagles got spanked. They did. Like I wish the woman in Love Actually. No. Without Jalen, it's the worst draft ever. I mean, it's certainly not one of the best, is it? It's not great. It could have been. And realistically, like, it did work. Like, Jalen Reagor was brought in to be the type of receiver the Eagles craved at that time. The pick itself, the logic behind it, was great. How it turned out wasn't. Davion Taylor, I understand the thought premise to develop a linebacker over a few years. It's a shame that he'd only played 7 football games up to that point because of some religious reason. I don't quite fully I know it's something to do with going to church on game day or something. So how he got to the NFL, I thought he must have been generationally talented. But just a freak athlete that was all right. Talented. That didn't really go well. Massive yikes in the draft. LG, the term you're looking for is fit. Yeah, I'm going to go watch Love Actually after this stream. No comment. I'm going to end the stream early and watch Love Actually. No, I'm joking. Fib, but she knows it. Great reference. Love the streets. You get brownie points with me for referencing that. Very well in. You're moving up there now. You're getting into Marshawn Lynch territory. We still haven't spoken about David Carr yet. So before I get distracted, falling in, head over heels for that girl in Love Actually again, let's talk about something that doesn't get me falling in love head over heels. David Carr. Oh, David. Wavy Davy. Boyo. Let's have a conversation, okay? The only thing you are famous for is having a brother that is better than you. Okay? How you can go on national TV, sit there, and suggest that a man that going into that game was plus 125 to win the MVP award should get benched for throwing what was a pretty good game is... I'm being sick. I don't have words to describe it. And I understand you're saying, like, oh, the Eagles should figure it out, let Hurts get healthy, and then bring him back into the playoffs. Oh, that'll go very well, for chemistry, won't it, David? I think you had a few too many CTEs. I don't get it. It's just like clickbaiting nonsense. It's a one dodgy play, David Carr. I mean, Derek Carr's fine. I love Derek. David, I don't know what you're on about. How do you watch that Eagles versus Niners game and your main takeaway is the Eagles should bench Jalen Hurts? They're a 10-win team, you tosser. They're a 10-win team. Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. Jalen Hurts has beaten, again, the best the AFC has to offer. You watch that game with a defense that has got more holes on it than Augusta National Golf Course, an offensive coordinator that is reading his playbook upside down, back to front, like it's a fucking anime book, and you're going to go, yeah, bench a quarterback, bench quarterback, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to die on that hill on national television. I'm going to sit on national TV and I'm going to say they should bench Jalen Hurts because that's a good idea. I don't get it. And I don't want to try and get it. But one thing you should do is get off my TV. I never want to see your face on that television screen again, spouting utter drivel. We do not chat some bollocks in this chat. We do not, go on some tangents about Love Actually, about, the K1 classic of Liam's romantic escapade analogies that never go anywhere, but somehow are just a little bit relevant. But I would never say anything as outlandish as that. I would never go on national TV and say anything as outlandish as that. I forget Phil has access to the PSN YouTube page. Hi, Phil. How are you? It is career. It's career. But I agree. I do agree. Dan Orlovsky pisses me off. Don't even start. Everyone loves Dan Orlovsky because he was all about Philly for a bit. He's not. He just panders to whatever team he's talking about that week. He doesn't know much ball. And he wasn't a great quarterback. Look, I haven't played quarterback, and I think I have more measured takes than he does. I'm in a different country, and I think I have more measured takes than he does. He is surrounded by football players, former and present, 24/7, and I have more measured football takes than he does. And that's not even far-fetched. I think K1's got better footballing knowledge than Dan Orlovsky. My nan does. She's dead. So... there's that. You mean Derek and David Carr are different people? Leave your door just right, because I don't. See, what I did there was I looked at the... You might have seen my eyes shut. I looked at the corner of my eye just a little bit to see if it had, but not this time, something. Not this time. David Carr talking Kiwi players like strippers talking celibacy. It is. It's just... I don't understand how we got a role on that set in the first place. There are a few players that I just don't get how they've got jobs in the media. And that's not trying to be harsh or cruel. But like someone like Emmanuel Acho, who was bang average in the NFL as a special teamer, I'm not sure if anyone remembers, but he put a video out like reading Twitter comments about him. And my comment was in the video because I slagged him off. And I was just like, he'll sit on national TV and go like, the best thing about the water is that the water's unprepared in the lavender. And go, let me say it again. The best thing about the water is that the water's unprepared in the lavender. And we know what that means. He's describing a 4th and 4 attempt by the Lions against the Cardinals. That means anything. So I don't get Acho. Orlovsky's a waste of time. David Carr, again, I have no idea what he was talking about with Jalen Hurts. I genuinely don't have a clue. I mean, Win Sports is right. The only thing I will say is I think Tony Romo is tremendous. As much as I hate Greg Olsen as a broadcaster, his knowledge of the game and his energy, I think he's very, very good at what he does. Is it Charles Davis? It might be Charles Davis. I think he's good. There are a few that are really good that I like. But to me, and this is really I don't know if it's my favorite or not, but certainly a few years ago when I was doing the podcast, Colin Cowherd to me was the gold standard. I thought Colin Cowherd's way of delivering, his way of tying analogies into his points, the statistical analysis, the rise of Joy Taylor, it was really good sports. Nick Wright before he became a dickhead, it was really good sports broadcasting. And I listened to the podcast every day on Fox Sports Radio. I found RJ Bell through him, listened to that. It was a really good... That's how it should be. You might not agree with him all the time, but he gives a thesis and he backs it up. And not many do that. It starts with a reason and then you get the point. And you get something on contrary to that. I tell you what, LaShawn McCoy is good. LaShawn McCoy, and I'm not just saying that he's from Philly, but I thought LaShawn McCoy has done a good job. He ties in comedy very well. He reminds me a lot of Micah Richards, for those that watch the soccer side of things. And Thierry Henry and Jamie Carragher, that dynamic of just being a bit funny with it, but still bringing some insight. He's great. But how David Carr ends up on national television criticizing an MVP level quarterback after a loss where he played well, I just don't get it. I don't get it. The Chap 12 is in. I think we're not only going to beat the Cowboys, we're going to break their will. Oh, you're a raunchy man. Eric has been reading 50 Shades of Grey. Cheerio at Liam and the distinguished chap 12. And we're back. It is right on cue. We've got 12 viewers at the minute. Just as we go over the finish line, Joy Taylor Heart Eyes. She's not quite the girl from Love Actually. She's all right, though. She's all right. She's all right. She might have to, I'd have to play hard to get. I don't think, it's one of them, I think. I reckon I could have a ram a little. No, I'm joking. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman. Great sports analysis. Christine Leahy was good as well on Colin Cowherd. The real OGs will remember that. She was tremendous. I don't know who he's got now. I haven't listened to him in a long time. But I used to also listen to Jay and Dan, like the Fox Sports guys, like Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole. Like their podcast was amazing. Like it was so good. And there are another two. I know obviously they're in TSN, so you don't really get that overlap quite a lot. But they were brilliant, like when they came to Fox. I thought they were so funny. The world needs more of them. They need more Jay and Dans, more LaShawn McCoys, more Joy Taylors, less David Carr. Less of that, please. He does need to be fired into the sun. Preferably tomorrow, if that's possible. Agreed, Liam. Unfortunately, the only sports show I can tolerate these days is First Things First. Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I don't have it over here, but I see a lot of the clips on social media, and it certainly seems more tolerable. So I definitely understand that. I saw that. Yeah, I didn't get to actually get round to watching any of it. But judging by the fact I've heard nothing about it in like 2 years, might tell me how it's gone. But that is the end of the show, guys. We have reached the end. So thank you very much. Oh, really quickly. Cowherd bad. Now he listed Dwayne Haskins as a quarterback who won't ever win a Super Bowl. Yeah, there was a lot of controversy about that, wasn't there? That wasn't great. Wasn't his finest moment there. Minor quibble, sure. I do wonder, though, if like a statistician maybe made that graphic for him. I do wonder if maybe that was part of it. Like maybe he didn't have full control. Maybe I imagine that like you leave it to a statistician, and then you go on live on air, and you're reading through the top 10, and you see Dwayne's name, and you're like, for fuck's sake. And you've got to get to it and somehow justify that. Not pretty. Oh, here he is. Do you know what? Fair play to him. He's come back, and do you know what? He's loving life. Fair enough. The better team won on that day. Cut the stream, that idiot's back. True, look, fair enough. But look, do it in the NFC Championship and then you can talk. I still can't hear you from down there, with your paltry 9-win record. I can't quite hear you from all the way down in the doldrums of what is it division you even playing? The NFC mid, whatever that is. So don't really care. Cut the stream, the idiot's back. But no, fair enough, Smitty. You deserve your flowers for being a fan. Well done. I don't know what I tell you means. Oh, what did I tell you? I get it. Sorry. I do know what it means. That was just me not reading properly. It's late at night. The media's going to Kelsey and Mama's speech for the 80s. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. I'd love it. True story. I did see Jason Kelsey's mama's outfit in real life. It was at Passyunk Avenue. They actually had his actual outfit that he wore. And I think they sent it back because I went there a few months back and it wasn't there anymore. And the person there said, I think there was something to do with someone wanted it back. I think they won it at an auction for charity. But they had like the hat thing that he wore. And yeah, it was quite cool. So that's a fun story for you. They even have the 1 seed. I don't know how we found it, but look, maybe we welcome into the Chap 12. Maybe we make him one of us. Look, I mean, if you can get around the whole trash talking thing, he seems like quite a level-headed young man. He doesn't. He seems like a lot of fun. He doesn't. But no, in fairness, it's cool that he's come back to be braggadocious. It is what it is, but it was fun. Guys, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you and definitely not go and watch Love Actually for the rest of my evening. But thank you so much for hanging out as always. I'll be back on Friday for a preview of the Dallas Cowboys game. Is it a must win? Is it not? We'll get to all of that and the fun stuff. But good, we can have some post-game therapy. Sorry again for missing Monday's stream. It was heartbreaking. I did miss you dearly. I was genuinely going to be trident. I was tempted to pull something out of the bag on Monday. But unfortunately, I couldn't. I was still in London and it just wouldn't fly. But the Eagles will fly. They'll fly on Sunday. Go Birds. Take care. Thank you for being absolutely amazing. Shout out again, just for one more time, Martian's comment of the night. Shaq Leonard signing is awful. Now we have 2 players named Darius who don't want to be called Darius. I think that's brilliant. Comment of the night. We'll do a comment of the night every day, I reckon. We'll do that. We're going to start doing an award for it. I think it's a good fun. See you Friday, chaps. Have a great evening. Thank you for hanging out once again. Go Birds. See you soon.